Hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are. I'm super excited to come back. I really felt like coming back on and talking a bit more about what I started talking about yesterday. And I'm sorry that I'm a bit late. I know I promised to be here at about the same time as yesterday, but life happens, right? Things happen. So I am glad that this is recorded and anyone who wants to watch it can watch it whenever. So I just wanted to cover a few things today, and I just want to pull my notes up so that we know where to start. So yesterday we talked about, how we attract certain things, and sometimes people think they need to visualize and script and manifest and affirm and do all these things. And I talked about how it's important what energy we're doing all of that in, because if the energy is that we understand that it's ours already, then we will be doing this with so much more flow, right? So much more flow. Let me just check that we're on for sure. Okay. Looks like I am live. So we talked about, when you're wanting something, you can sometimes like manifest so much robotically, and maybe you're gonna see a tiny little shift, but then you're gonna see the opposite. You're gonna see like the exact opposite of what you want. And so the whole point is that you actually have a feeling associated to it. It's like you have this feeling of flowing, of being, of like just knowing it. So today I just felt like having a quick 10-15 minute like kind of nap, meditation, you would call it. I just like to lie down and allow for it. So sometimes it's like an in between thing. Sometimes it's very specifically, I feel focused and it's a meditation. Sometimes it's something else. Meditation is all about, quieting your mind and just focusing, right? And not letting it flow too much into the direction you don't want. So it's imagination more directed, but at the same time letting whatever is meant to come in, whatever's in your subconscious come along. So I had that today, and I had visualized the most amazing things of the things that I am currently deciding that I want. So I decided that I want those things. And so I was just there flowing with them, and I felt so amazing. And I don't robotically manifest. I don't affirm. I don't sit down in the morning and review it and repeat it and all of that, because you just are. You either are or you're not, right? So it's about understanding that whatever you want, you have. And I think I've banged on about this for a long time. So I know that you probably got this. But what I wanted to talk about is that scale that we are on, because sometimes you feel like, yeah, everything's mine, and sometimes you're like, nah, this is not going to happen. Sometimes you are victim to circumstances. So circumstances happen and you're like, it's not going to happen, it's not mine. No, there's no way. Even though just yesterday the same thing, you were like, yep, 100%, I'm so certain, like I've got a cape on, this is me. So what's really important is to know that it's very important what kind of state of emotion we put ourselves in. And so there is a scale of vibration by Dr. David Hawking. And so you can take a look in the book or just Google it or whatever if you're not familiar with it. Let me just check something. I just want to share something. Okay. There we go. Okay. And so I'm sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. So the consciousness scale is a bit like a funnel. There's lower vibration, lower feeling, lower emotions at the bottom, and then higher ones at the top. It goes from 20 to 1,000. And round about 200, there is the courage feeling. And feeling of courage is when we actually cross from the low vibrational state to the higher ones. So courage might be often linked to hope, because we're like, we're encouraged, this might be possible, something might be there, I have enough it in me to pull it together and to go for it and do something or believe it or whatever. Any lower vibrational states like worry, fear, doubt, anger, shame, like all of that stuff, that lowers you, right? And then the higher stuff is acceptance, it's joy, it's love, it's that certainty, it's obviously love. It's just like this higher, just pure love, pure, utter, just yes. I don't need to do anything because I'm just love, right? So it's not feeling love, it's being love. It's not feeling joy, it's being joy. But when we're on the other end, we're like angry or worried or sad or whatever. That's low. So the reason we don't have to manifest for ages and affirm and write things and do all of these things and like being like manifest, I want this, I want this, I want this, because when you talk like this, first of all, you will always want this. You'll always be in the state of wanting, of being there but not yet there, of going for it. You want to be in the state of already having it, right? So to already have it, you put yourself in the feeling that you would feel when you already have it. And so you've got to say, okay, this is when you do visualize. Okay, I have it. Let's imagine I have it. How do I feel? What am I? What am I doing? Where am I? Like, how do I carry myself, right? What am I doing, saying, seeing, feeling? Like, what is my dominant state? And then from that state, you put yourself in that state, not about this thing, but just in general. You might be joyous because you are, right? There can be something sad happening in your life and you can still be happy, because you can be sad and happy at the same time, even though that sounds weird. Like, you can be sad about a situation, but a happy person in general. You can live in an amazing state. Okay, so you've got to put yourself in that state. And people sometimes confuse it with like jumping up and down and being like, yay, I'm this like excited person. You don't have to be like, excited, crazy person, right? I like to get myself in that state, but I don't always. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I'm so grateful. And sometimes you just say this, and because people think, I've got to think about what I'm grateful for. Otherwise, it's like fear. Again, that's low state. You don't want to be in that state. You want to put yourself in a state where you're like, I'm so grateful. And your gratitude, you are putting yourself in the state of gratitude. And then the feeling follows and your mind starts to pick on what you are grateful for, because it starts to link to those feelings that you've had. So it doesn't come from the head. Let me think about all the stuff that I was grateful for ever bought. Right? It's like, okay, I'm gratitude. I'm grateful. I love this state. And then from that, you go, oh, I remember when I was, in this place and I felt so amazing and I was looking out in the stars or in the sky, or I was there on the boat with my friends, or I was out there with, with my loved ones doing something, or I just went to the shop and I wanted that one thing that I really wanted and they had one last one. Maybe it was just a box of milk or something, like a carton of milk, but you really wanted it because you wanted to make hot chocolate and they sold out, but they had this one last one, right? Whatever it is. So you put yourself in that. That's so different than like, what am I grateful for? Let me think about this. 3 things, whatever. Like, that doesn't work at all. Or it might, but for a very, very short time. So what you've got to remember from that is that the scale of consciousness means when you're in low vibration, you're attracting the low vibration states. When you're in a high vibration, you're going to attract high vibration states. You tell yourself you're already in that state. You don't lie to yourself, I already have whatever you desire that you clearly can't see in front of your eyes. No, but you say, I know how it feels when I have it. Because the feeling is not of having it, the feeling is of joy, excitement. What is it, right? Think about this. What do you want right now? Like, what is the biggest thing you want? Yes, now, if you're watching this, think about this. What is the thing you desire the most? Okay, so you've got that thing because you probably don't have to think about it that much because you desire it so much. So now go back and think about maybe 2-3 emotions that you feel, or the feelings you feel when you get yourself into like, I already have it. If you achieve it, what is it that you feel? Because when you get to a place where you go, okay, what is it that I feel? How do I carry myself? What else am I saying, thinking, feeling? What am I doing with this, right? You put yourself in that. And so when you get to this place, that is the emotion you want to feel every day. And you can feel that about other things, right? Because let's say you want, I don't know, a huge giant house on a cliff, and with all the new shebang, let's call it, right? Let's say you want this, or let's say you want your dream partner or whatever. And you might say, I feel with the house, I feel certainty, I feel excitement, I feel joy, I feel gratitude, I feel all these things, right? With the partner, you might say, I feel love, I feel excitement, I feel connection, I feel this. So those feelings, think, okay, where else do I have these feelings in my everyday? And you seek for those. So you don't go, what's this? And what do I see? You go, where do I see joy? Where do I see love? Where do I see happiness? Where do I see excitement? Where do I see blah, 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 all that, right? That's it. So on that vibrational scale, all the feelings you feel when you have this are going to be guaranteed above the line, above the courage line, right? They're going to be above, higher. And so you want to put yourself in those states. So you don't want to fake something. You don't want to affirm something. You're like, okay, when I'm like, I already have whatever, this is how I feel. So then you don't repeat robotically, I have this, I have this, I have this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. No, you just put yourself in the states that you know induce that feeling of having this thing, of already achieving this thing. And then you put yourself in that state with everything else. And sooner rather than later, everything is going to happen. And if you think about the timing, it's going to take longer. If you don't think about the timeline, time collapses and things are possible. Again, I manifested some crazy stuff that I would never, ever, ever, ever be able to think about from here, like ever come up with. And my brain, and I'm sure your brain, comes up with some really crazy stuff. I mean, some crazy negative stuff, but I bet you could come up with some really crazy, amazing stuff of like, how can this amazing thing that I want happen? So imagine this. If you can come up with this with your mind here. Now, your mind is your ego. Your heart is your higher self. Okay, so listen to this. Your ego, so your mind, its ceiling, so the highest thing it can come up with is the floor of your higher self, right? So the best thing you can come up from here, like the best scenarios you can come up with for how what you want might be possible, are only the lowest ever like trial runs of your higher self that can come up with some amazing stuff. So if you are coming up with some really crazy ideas, like I came up with, some amazing ideas for some of my goals. I was like, so this is how it happens. So this, this happens. I get this call, and then that thing happens, and then I get this, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then obviously straight away I got to fear. I was like, well, if I came up with this, what if it doesn't happen? Then I was like, no, my higher self is coming up with an even better plan. So if I just put myself into this like celebration mode, of course my inner self is going to go like, obviously she's ready to celebrate. She's ready to be excited. She's ready to just live the life, right? So I'm going to give her the reality because she's already showing it, right? How different is that to like robotically trying to like find, some amazingness in yourself and all that stuff? Like that's just bullshit, right? You want to be real with it. So that's what you do. What's good about it? You don't look at the situation that's not great and go, oh my God, well, I don't know, I missed a flight. Oh, what's good about this? You don't go, what's good about missing the flight? No, you go, what's good about today? What's good about everything right now? You seek the good. You don't purposefully seek something that you might not know. But if you want to, you could ask openly the universe, show me what's good about this. All you're doing is giving a command. When you give a command to the universe will respond and it will give you something good, right? So that's how you play. But I am not done. I wanted to give you some more stuff. I just want to look at my notes because, I'm talking. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Yes, so we talked about this, right? We talked about the scale of consciousness. So I want to give you some tips as well. Now, You might be like, yeah, well, how do I put myself into this great state? It's easy for you to say because now you seem like really pumped up. Well, I wasn't. Like 5 minutes before I came up, there were a couple of things I just was told. And I was like, okay, so now I get to choose. I get to go down the spiral, or I get to be like, you know what, I'm just going to go life quicker so I can get myself into amazing state. So amazing state, first of all, you can put yourself in that by doing something you really love. And then you forget about everything else. Something you really love. Now, when you get yourself into something you really love, you're gonna start amazing, like path, right? You're gonna get yourself into the spiral, that's upward spiral, because you forget about everything. When you're doing something you love, you're like everything. Like when you were a kid and you were playing with kids on your street, or like in the neighborhood park, or like on, someone's garden or whatever, right? You were doing that, and then suddenly it's like getting dark and your mom's calling you for dinner and you're like, what? Like, when did that happen? Right? So like that's not what you want to feel. Of course you do, right? Of course you do. So you want to put yourself in that state. Secondly, however, you can do this by, because our logical mind is like, no, I can't do this. I have to moan, I have to whine, I have to be sad. This is the default state we've been taught to be in, right? Find the problem. What's the problem? And then sit in that problem and stew in that problem. So instead, what you do is something amazing. So there might be something specific, right? A specific situation that puts you down, that puts you in a low state. Think about a recent specific situation. Someone told you something specific, whatever, right? And then, okay, so let's say I just found out something. Someone made a mistake, gave me something, and then they made a mistake, and I already passed this on. And I could be like, okay, well, that's annoying because I have an expectation that maybe people would figure things out before they make certain moves, or do something that they then regret or whatever. And then I was like, okay, so what is not specific but general about the situation? So what's general? General is, I don't like when surprises happen which are causing me more difficult challenges. I might say that, right? Or I don't like when people call me and tell me something that might be in the back of my mind as a worry. I don't like being in a state where I feel like I have to control the situation. Again, what can you generalize about the specific situation? I don't like when I feel not aligned, because that's not aligned, right? I don't like feeling where an emotion comes in that I can't easily explain. I don't like feeling like things are not flowing. Yeah? So I can be saying all these things. Okay, that's making me feel so much better than like this one specific situation. So I can say all these things. I can come up with a ton more things, right? So I don't like that. But what do I like instead? I like when things flow. So you give the opposite of what you just said, right? So you had a specific situation, you generalize it, that negative situation, you generalize the negativity, then you generalize the positive by flipping the thing. So you don't like not being in flow. What do you love? You love being in flow. You love when things flow. You love when you get a random phone call, and the phone call is actually something that makes you feel even more in flow. You get a phone call and you jump up with joy because someone surprisingly just made you laugh. You like whatever, right? And then you put yourself in that amazing state. You're like, "Ooh, I'm flowing already. My hands are flowing." You're like, "What?" And then you go, "Okay, so I love when certain situations happen." And when you feel at ease, saying like, "I like these things when they happen," and so you like the general positive, that's good. Then you might try to go to the very specific positive. So like, I like when this specific thing happens, and this specific thing happens, and this specific thing happens. Like for me, I like having the certainty of my whereabouts for the next month. I might say that, okay? Or I might say, I like knowing that when I receive something, then I get to figure out the next steps with it. fully on my own. I like when I whatever, right? So that, and if it feels good, go with that. If it doesn't, stay at the general. And because it's all about the joy, it's all about feeling good. When you feel good, that's it. That's all you need, right? Very, very, very specific. All you need is feel good. All you need is, where's my camera? All you need is to feel good. When you feel good or great or amazing or outstanding or like, whoa, hey, it's great. When you feel that, that's the feeling you want to follow. That doesn't mean you stop doing whatever. That just means you put yourself in that state. And if something doesn't make you feel like that, stop it for a while. Because it's not about the thing that you're doing, it's about the way you feel about it. I know it sounds crazy. Okay, if you need more explanation, please let me know, like DM me or something. I will be more than happy to do that. So that's one thing. Let me just see if there's anything else in my notes. See, 20 minutes already, and like I can bang on about all of this probably for another 20. But I also gave myself a gift today, and today I'm going to watch a movie, and it's going to be an easy flowing, oh my god, just that kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, so I talked about the state, but this the state, the way you feel, this is what I mean. Like, you don't have to jump for joy, you just have to get yourself into that place, and you can do this so quickly, and you can do it in a different way, so you don't feel like it's so rapid, but you are flowing. So you could jump up and suddenly get scared and then like change state because you don't know what's happening. But you could also instead just be like, okay, I don't like this, but I'm talking about this already. I'm already changing my state because I'm talking about this. What do I not like when it's general? You're going on a rant. Rant is like much higher vibration than worry or fear or doubt. It's like, I'm pissed off, right? But I'm talking about this. And then you go, oh, what do I like? What do I love? That's a great rant. That's like, yay, high vibration rant, right? So that's what you want. And so remember also that whatever you want, it has two ends. So, joy, the scale of joy is like you can have an overjoy or you can feel the lack of joy. Yeah. You can, let's think about plant, even plant, a live, flourishing plant. On the other opposite of scale, it's a dying, withering plant. Okay. I'm just trying to explain to you quite, human, right? Happy human, unhappy human. You have a scale of opposites for everything and everyone. So if you are thinking abundance, on the scale of abundance, you can have poverty and you can have absolute flourishing, right? Which end do you choose to look at? Because when you look at all the flourishing, then you look at it from that point of view. Meaning, because people go, yeah, but there's like people who are hungry in Africa, or people who get all these cataclysms that, attack them. And then I say, okay, maybe yes, but can you look at this? There's the abundance that we're creating. There are many, many people who are creating abundance in their life so they can share it and spread this love with others, so that they can help people protect their homes from natural disasters, for example. Is that a high vibration, or people actually suffer right now from this? Who is this helping right now? It is happening, but who is this helping talking about it like that, right? Two polar opposites. And so I often don't like myself in certain situations, because when people start to moan, I start being really not very nice. Well, firstly, I put people into, I'm like, okay, let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. Because my scale is like, okay, there's an emotional scale. That means that emotion can be high or low, right? Or high or low, whatever. And so I'm like, okay, so let's see how we can pick this up. And then someone doesn't clearly want to pick this up because they want to stay in there, because everyone has free will, right? We all have free will. We get to do what we want. We get to listen to our intuition or completely ignore it. Excuse me. So when you think about this, if you are in that mode where you choose to be a victim and you choose to be in this place, you're like, oh, it's so sad, everything's so bad. And yeah, you're going to attract this. So I don't want to be with you because I don't want to attract this stuff. I want to help you, pull you up. I'm offering you like a lifeline or a hand to pull you out of this well of sad tears that you've cried yourself. But I don't want to get myself wet from those tears either. So I want to help you, but I don't want to help you by getting there with you. I want to help you by getting you out into the dry land, right? So that's the difference. So if you see me and I'm like, yeah, let's get you into that state, great. If you start seeing me like, actually, I'm gonna have to go, that means like, you've done so much. You actually got me to be like, don't want to be part of this anymore, right? Because we all get to choose. And I want to help people, but I also want to help people who want to help themselves. So think about this, everything I've said. Next time you are putting yourself to bed, thinking about anything, just go, what am I right now? Am I on the low or the high end, right? Am I attracting the low or the high end from this? Because right now I'm like, oh my God, everything can happen. But whatever you place your focus on, that exists. Whatever you don't focus on, it doesn't, because you don't, it's not in your attention span, right? So it doesn't exist. Think about this. Okay, I know it sounds really weird, but think about this. You are, say you've got kids and you're engrossed in your work. Like there's like an hour, you're like super like, you don't think about your kids. They don't even cross your mind. Neither does anything else. Neither does even like peeing. And that's like basic human need, right? On the pyramid of human needs. Like, I mean, just above Wi-Fi. So if you are doing some work that you're like, oh my God, you don't even think about your kids. They don't exist at that minute because you're not thinking about them. If you then think about them or they come up or whatever, they might tell you this is what happened in the last hour or so, but they are telling you this right now, right? Because they're back in your consciousness. I know that sounds weird, but hopefully that makes sense. And if you think I'm weird, just, don't watch me anymore. But if you think it might be like, oh, she's making sense, then I plan to be back live quite a lot because I've decided to share all this stuff with people. So if it makes sense, please let me know. If it doesn't, please let me know. Also, I don't think you can do this, but you can comment maybe. But yeah, DM me if there's anything specific that you want me to explain. And if it's like something that a lot of people come up with, maybe I can do a live about it. If it's something that just relates to you, I'll probably record you a little note because I like doing that. So have an amazing day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Enjoy yourself and be in joy and be in love. And whether you're a strong big man who's like, I'm providing for the family, or you're a flowing feminine female, live in that state, because from that state you can be the feminine, you can be the masculine, you can be whoever, you can deliver, you can have everything you want. You don't have to be a man to have amazing business and everything flowing to you. You don't have to be a woman to feel joy and ease and gratitude. Okay, so just go and be and love yourself and have fun. I've loved this. So I might see you soon. I'm thinking of going live for like a full hour or so on some specific topics, and maybe some sort of a webinar or something. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll let you know. I have been loving kind of my last minute appearances, and that's how I go with the flow. So if these are good and they make sense and they provide some value, let me know and I will continue doing them. Okay, take care. Bye bye. Oh, here we are.